Welcome back to my channel, my fish and I. Today we're going to be discussing keeping discus in hard water. Also going to be discussing some tips and tricks of how to keep discus. Discus was the holy grail of fish keeping. I never thought I could keep discus because my water is very hard. Literally, that's the last. I have these discus for a few years now, probably like 3 or 4 years. And at first, it was hard, man. We're like, everybody say they're the hardest fish to keep. And I have a lot of fish. I have like 20 something aquariums. You know, when people complain their discus is always hiding, they're always dying. And I kept discus from grow them out and from buying adult discus. And I'm going to tell you of what I've learned from keeping these discus. And I kept discus in beer tanks, beer bottom tanks, and as you can see in planted tanks. I'm going to discuss how I keep them successfully, some of the obstacles that I face, especially having hard water, and my struggles hopefully make it easier for you to keep and show you that it's not as hard as we think. I don't use the chlorinator also. I literally just bought one of those things from Amazon and I try to put no chemicals in my tank. I try to use live plants because I find it's actually easier to keep them with a planted tank, and I think it looks better than a bare bottom tanks. In the end of the video, you'll see when I kept them in bare bottom tanks, and I wasn't even enjoying keeping them like that because it's just ornamental. As you can see, they say there's a hard water on the surface. My glass is always hard, and you see the calcium build up on the glass, as I was showing you on this video right there. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's better. I like them, enjoy them more, and I think they enjoy being in water with plants better. You know what I'm saying? So some people like bare bottom and just make the fish the focal point. I like to put all my aquariums, if I can, to try to make it as natural as possible. You know, plants and animals work in a symbiotic thing. I have like pothos, you have monasteria, I have Anubias, I have Crips, I have dwarf sage. Those are the Anubias right there. Those are dwarf sage. I have some lilies. There's a Crips, and I'm doing a water change right now, and this is what I use to change the water. I don't use dechlorinator, and my water is hard. But I bought this thing that is supposed to, when you screw down to the hose from Amazon, I don't remember what it's called. And that's how I fill up all my tanks, because I have like 20 something tanks, and I don't really like to put too much chemicals in my tank. I don't even use fertilizer in my tanks, in none of my planted tanks. I try to keep it, the plants, I try to make sure the plants and the animals literally is using an ecosystem. That's what I try to do as best as I can. So, hard water. Discus is one of the most sensitive fish. Everybody always talking about, yo, these fish are gonna die. So those are actually the last set of fish I started keeping, because I was kind of scared to keep them, because I said I don't want to spend. They ain't cheap. Some of these discus over here is like $150, some is $200, some is $300, you know what I'm saying? So they ain't cheap. So they're not a fish that you want to go take a chance with, because you're going to lose a lot of money and you're going to lose a lot of money fast. And they hurt kind of more when that fish die. When you lose a guppy and it's like only $1 or $2 versus a discus fish that's $200-$300, it hurts. Even if you got money, it hurts, I'll tell you that. So you got to make sure you come correct. And literally, I'm just showing you where my fish tank is. It's literally in my living room, and my discus don't hide like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have problems with them hiding, especially when have them in a planted tank, they're always hiding. You know what I'm saying? But I have them in a high traffic area, so they're used to people walking by, so they're not as skittish as probably you would if you have them into a secluded area where they don't get no attention from anybody. These fish, anytime you go to the tank, they come up and swim up there, they eat. That's actually a sign of a healthy fish too. They come up, as you can see, they're cichlets, they're bickering, they're always fighting at times, but there are a lot of dither fishes in there, and it is what it is. But there's one of those fish that I always wanted to keep, but I was scared to keep them because everything on the internet I read was, if you have hard water, it's going to cause them to stress. It's going to cause them to die. Discus pressure hardness between 1 to 4 dkh. Water type discus prefer warm, soft, acidic type water. And I'm like, I don't have that water, but I want to keep discus. So can I keep discus? You know, so I was scared to do it because it's a great investment to have these fish, but they're so pretty. But I don't want to lose my money. You know what I'm saying? I'll take chances and do other crazy stuff with other fish that's cheaper. But with discus, I said I want to do it right. They said discus require daily water changes. I only do literally water change every 1 to 2 weeks, probably 50%. You know what I'm saying? They said discus water treatment, the tap water conditioner before you fill the aquarium. As I said, I showed you what I use to do it. I don't use no dechlorinator, and I'm not on a well, I'm on the city water. You know what I'm saying? They said discus need reverse osmosis water. That is if you're breeding them, because I have some breeding pairs, and it don't matter what I do, you can't get those eggs to hatch in hard water. They're just gonna calcify, and it's not gonna work. So I do agree, if you're looking just to keep it for a hobby, you can do it with hard water. But if you're trying to breed it for profit, it's not gonna work. It probably does need that reverse osmosis water treatment stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to breed them. I'm just trying to enjoy them and keep them, because I never thought I could keep them with hard water from all the things that I see on the internet. But when I was doing my research, wild discus, you probably need to make them like the Amazon. But most of these discus are tank raised, and they're used to some form of mild and hard water environment. You know what I'm saying? So I think most of the breeders, because one breeder that I bought some of my fish from, he said, yes, when they're young, I breed them in reverse osmosis water, but as they transition, I transition them to like mild to hard water. You know what I'm saying? So in my experiences, if I can do it, a lot of people can do it. You just there's certain things you gotta keep in mind. If you're trying to breed them for money, hard water is not gonna work for you. You know what I'm saying? I keep this tank at 80 degrees. 80 degrees is good for the plants, good for the fish. Discus, I realize, the higher the temperature you keep them, the healthier they're happier. Ideally, you want to keep them between 82 to 86, but I find if I put it to 82, my crips don't like it so much. But when I find a balance between all the plants at 80, the fish is happy, and the plants are happy. You know what I'm saying? And as you can see, I have a lot of different fish in this tank, and this tank is a 75 gallon. You know what I'm saying? I think I want to say 6 discus in it. You know, I have 6 discus, a whole lot of cardinal tetra, a whole lot of cory cats, a whole lot of super red blissinose plecos, some rummy nose tetras, some other tetras, some peacock gobies. There's a lot of different animals in this ecosystem. You know, I feed my discus twice a day, sometimes twice a day, 6 days a week. You know, but it's a variety of food. Sometimes I feed them garlic, peas, I don't feed them beef heart because I don't have no time to make this. I'm gonna probably like I'm not gonna do all that stuff because it's too much work, to be honest, and I don't want to do it. So I feed them a lot of vegetables. I feed them broccoli, some, what do you call it? Garlic is my favorite thing to feed them because that builds with their immune system. The key is you gotta get healthy fish. One thing I know, if you're trying to raise, I will encourage you, buy discus as adults. Spend the extra money, it's less stress. Because when you're trying to grow them out, you're literally gonna have to you're spending the same amount of money in the time, and you're doing way more work. Because when I was growing them out, I literally bought them cheap, and I said, you know what, I bought them like for $40, $25, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna grow them out. Yes, it's a learning experience, but I would never do it again. So I literally had them in a bare bottom tank, and I was doing water change like every 2 days. I'm feeding them like 5-6 times a day to grow them out. You have to keep the water quality. You're friggin' vacuuming all the excess food. I didn't like them because I'm like, this is too much work. And as I tell you, I have like 20 something tanks. So I'm like, this one type of fish is costing me so much grief because I'm doing so much work. And I started to resent the discuses, to be honest. So guys, I'm like, yo, I'm just gonna sell them and I'm growing them out, but this is too much work to keep one fish. And now if they die, if one of them die when you're doing all their work, and sometimes fish dies, sometimes you buy a poor quality fish and you literally is gonna die. Sometimes they bully the hell out of each other because they're cichlids and they can't get away. They're gonna die. There's some things is out of your control and you're just gonna lose fish, and that's part of the hobby, and that's the bottom shit. But at the end of the day, you doing all that work and a fish die, I'm telling you, you feel that shit to the core. It hurts because you know the work that you're putting in, and to lose a fish like that because you're working so hard, it hurts. So at that time, man, I started resenting the fish, man, because I'm like, yeah, I'm doing water changes every other day, feeding so much. I felt like a slave to this damn discus because I was so nervous of all the stuff I read on the internet that they're gonna die, they're sensitive, and blah blah blah. And then now I'm up in Canada, we don't have no medication. You know what I'm saying? They don't know fish meds. All they give you is tea tree oil or some crap. They don't sell meds up here, you know. They ban all fish meds here. So if my fish gets sick, I'm screwed, and I invest some money in there, you're kind of screwed. They're gonna die because there's no way to treat them. So I say, you know what, I'm gonna have to keep everything pristine, and I'm telling you, man, that's hard work. So I learned a lot from going through to raising it. So tonight I raise these guys to get big up adults. You know what I'm saying? They get big now, and once they got older and bigger, that's when I put them in the planted tank. You know what I'm saying? Because when they're in the bare bottom tank, you can actually keep it much cleaner. So they've been in this planted tank probably 2-3 years now. So I did that though when they became adults. You know what I'm saying? That's when I did that, because for the first year and a half, man, I worked to keep these fish, and I'm stubborn, so I didn't want to fail this. You know what I'm saying? So, but I wasn't enjoying it, to be honest. Now that they're in the planted tank, they look at the red. Look at them on the plant, the red and the green and all the colors and the blues. They look so good. Their behavior, they get placed to hide from the ones I'm trying to bully each other. Every now and then they try to fight, but nobody get damaged. You know what I'm saying? And I just enjoy the aquarium more. Now they don't hide. They come up to you. They feed at the top. Now this is what fish keeping is all about. Now I don't have to be a slave to the aquarium or a slave to the hobby. Now I can do water change every 1 to 2 weeks, and there's no issues. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, look, they're swimming around. Some people discus hide. Mine is in a high traffic area, so they're used to being around people, you know. So I find that once the fish get comfortable, because some people say put them in a quiet area, you don't want to scare them. My fish are not skittish, because, and I attribute that because first, when they were younger, that's why I did. I put them in the basement. There's nobody down there. And then I'm like, yo, I'm working so hard, doing water change every other day. Every time I come in the tank, you guys are darting and hiding. I'm not enjoying this. So something has to give. You know what I'm saying? Either I'm going to give them, sell them, and just call it a failure, or I gotta find a way to enjoy them, and that's what I decide I'm gonna do. So I put them in the 75 in the living room. At first, they were scared because they're used to being in a low traffic area, so they're used to not being anybody going by. If anything change, a shadow go by, these fishes are darting up in the thing. I'm like, nah, man. You guys are gonna have to learn to be comfortable. Fish adapts just like humans. We adapt, so does animals. So I start going by the tank more often. Even when they dart and people come by, they dart. Even with us sitting watching TV, they're darting and hiding in the plants. And eventually they realize we're not a threat. I'm feeding them. Now I can hand feed them. Now I can enjoy the fish. I'm literally right next to the tanks filming. I can zoom up. They come up to the camera. I have no problems when it come towards that. You know what I'm saying? They always say, you know what? Loud noises, bright lights, foot traffic is going to stress them. But these fish got used to these things because there's a window right there. It's in the living room beside the dining room. We're always walking by. Now they know. They don't dart when people come by. Always having party at my house. Everybody looking at them. They're swimming up to the tank. They got used to it. So now they're not stressed. You know what I'm saying? Keeping them well fed. Keeping the water clean. They're very resilient fish than we give them credit, to be honest. You know, but there's such a stigma out there, and you don't want to fail, especially when you're keeping expensive fish. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to fail because it's a lot of money. As I said, these are not cheap fish, but they're enjoyable fish once you get the right setup for them, once you train them how you want to keep them. You know what I'm saying? That's how you have to keep it. So I have these guys, as I said, at 80 degrees, hard water. I don't even use the chlorinator, but I use that thing that I see attached to on the O's. You know what? I should go to Amazon and see what the hell this is called. Yeah, so it's called the Pool Garden Hose and Pre-Filter for pool, hot tub, spa, and lifetime RV inline water filter. Yeah, so I just attach those things. They do a good job. I've been using them for like the last 3 years. I haven't lost a fish doing with all my tanks, and they work pretty well. I got sick, and to be honest, I used to even age my water for my young discuses. I have a big rain barrel, let's age it. I got sick of always buying dechlorinators, and one time I had enough because I used a dechlorinator, and literally maybe I put too much or whatever, but the next morning after the water change, almost all my freaking guppies died. So I like, you know what, I'm done, and I blamed it on it's me, it's my fault. Probably maybe I mixed it wrong, but I still blame the water dechlorinator. So I decided, you know what, I'm not doing it. I'm not using it on none of my damn tanks anymore, and I'm done with it. So I never used that in a few years now. Look at these guys. Look at these guys fighting around. You see? Most of the reds ones are always at the top, in the front of the tank. You know, those two. I have several maiden pairs. I sold them because, as I said, my hard water ain't gonna do nothing to make those eggs come to life, man. I wish I could, because I already learned how to grow them out, so I feel like I could have grown them out and sell them and make some money. So I might as well, once it became a breeding pair. But once they become a breeding pair and you sell them, they're literally worth a lot of money. I made a lot of profit. Honestly, because a maiden pair, it's cost more than if you're buying an individual fish. You know what I'm saying? For the maiden pair, it literally made me get back my money for all the total fish that I have. You know what I'm saying? So initially, I'd bought like, I think 8 or 10. 8 or 10. No, 10. I bought 10. Then 2 of them paired off. I tried to put them in the tank by themselves. Try to see if I can raise them babies. It wasn't working out, so I sold those pairs. Now I'm down to 6 fish. So keeping discus in hard water, it's doable. You just gotta, as long as they're not wild caught. I don't know about wild caught, because none of these are wild caught. These are tank raised discus. Most farm discus are tank raised discus. So I don't know nothing about wild caught discus if it would work. But if you're concerned that, you know what, you want to keep discus, but you think it's too hard because you have hard water like I did, I'm just here to show you that it's possible, and don't lose hope. You know what I'm saying? So thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe if you make it this far. These are up close and personal with the boys. I'm just gonna let the video run and you can see some nice discus footage in the end. So it's possible. Thanks for watching the video. So I'm just gonna let it run and you guys can have some nice footage of the discus.